Judge.
Tonight, the Subway Series writes a new chapter as Aaron Judge and the Yankees head to Queens for a battle with Juan Soto and the Mets.
Juan Soto with a monstrous blast.
Meanwhile, the Mariners host the Padres as both West Coast teams look to keep building momentum.
You know what time it is? It's time for Mason Miller. Incoming Julio! With all these things that I've done.
It's Baseball Night in America.
There is Mark Vientos trying to get the Mets offense going a little bit here. They have really struggled, and they've got a home game against the Yanks coming your way. Most of the country will see that. Of course, some of you will see a little West Coast action. Why don't we show you Julio Rodriguez and the superstar he is, and the Mariners. They've been up and down. Second place right now in the AL West. They take on the Padres, who are right behind the Dodgers in the NL West. We say welcome to Baseball Night in America pregame show, presented by Geico. Happy Saturday to you. Come on into our LA studios. That's right. We've got the D-Train, Dontrell Willis. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Glad to be with you today. We got a couple great baseball games for you. We got games going on around the league today earlier as well. Why don't we catch you up, see what's going on? Dontrell, the Fighting Fish, top of the 10th inning, taking on the Red-Hot Rays. This is Liam Hicks, who has been terrific.
A little bit of get back in the battle of Florida, baby. Nice to see the Fighting Fish get a lead.
Put a 7th spot up in the 10th. There you go. Blue Jays Tigers. Dalton Varsho is your hitter. Another extra inning affair, and this one is going to be the game winner.
Yeah, short, easy swing, right back up the box. They're going to need him to continue to play like that to fight back into the division.
How the Phillies playing since they hired Don Manager, promoted him to manager? Well, they're playing well. Bryce Harper is on fire. 3-run bomb makes it 3-0 in Pittsburgh.
Ooh,
You like that?
off the batter's eye.
And then there's this. Christopher Sanchez going for a complete game. Dontrell, he's at 29 2/3 straight scoreless innings right now.
Every year in the running of the Cy Young, a true ace.
How about Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol? He purchased over 1,000 tickets for the Stephen F. Austin baseball fans. They had the shirts off for whatever reason. I don't know, but it worked.
Gonna have to have him at every ball game. Look at the hustle.
Oh, Thomas and JC beats the throw home. Look at those fans. They love it. Shirts are off. Marmol's going to have to buy 1,000 tickets every game.
There's no sunblock in St. Louis.
No. Cardinals,
Nice.
they're 9 games over 500. Biggest surprise in baseball. Another surprise this year. How about former #1 overall pick Mickey Moniak in Colorado?
Lob wedge.
Listen, I didn't say they all have to be home runs.
I like it.
That'll be just fine. Rockies get a win, 4-2 over the Diamondbacks. Over on FS1, the Nationals offense, believe it or not, second best in the league. Not many people realize that. Keibert Ruiz had himself a night. 3-run home run. He had 5 RBI. Nationals just bombard the Orioles over on FS1. That has just gone final, and a big win for them. There you see Paul Goldschmidt getting set for the Subway Series, Yanks and the Mets. And Ben Rice has been a revelation this year for New York. Leads the league in OPS. He's with our Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Kevin. Ben, tonight is your 10th Subway Series game. How would you describe to people around the country what this experience is like?
It's so fun. You know, the first time I got to experience it was my rookie season in '24, shortly after I debuted, and it was here at Citi Field, and you could just feel the intensity in the crowd. You know, it's such a historic rivalry, and it feels like each year it's just it's more intense. So been really enjoying it.
6 years ago, you're at Dartmouth. 3 years ago, you started at low A, and now you're leading the majors in OPS. What stands out to you most about your journey so far?
It's a great question. I think just how far I've come. I think, you know, I mean, just like I started out just really, you know, trying to claw my way into more playing time, just trying to take advantage of any opportunity I got, and slowly just was able to earn my way into more regular playing time as I progressed through the minors. And I feel like, you know, I just really proved to people what I could do, and eventually was able to work my way to the big leagues.
And keep doing it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kevin, back to you.
I love that, Kenny. Indeed, keep doing it. And you look at the Yankees, Aaron Judge and Ben Rice have really been a two-man show. They've hit a little bit of a snag. They were so red hot. The offense, other than those two guys, has really failed to show up, although they did win last night, got some big hits. Jazz Chisholm showing up. And let's start there on the Yankees, right? They've been really great so far this year. Judge and Ben Rice, awesome. Where's everybody else, and who do they need to really step up?
You know, talking to Aaron Boone, he would like to see the supporting cast kind of step up, because ultimately, if you want to win a World Series, you have to have length in that lineup. Jazz Chisholm got on base 4 times last night. He's been scuffling, but over the last 14 games, 15 strikeouts. He's a much better hitter than that. Spencer Jones, he's getting a chance to play. Coming into that ball game last night, 1 for 12, hit 2 line drives. So that's going to have him play with some confidence. Also, Austin Wells, he's a much better hitter than going 4 for 33 over his last 2 weeks. So you have to have lineup productivity from the guys in the bottom of the order, so you can roll the lineup over so Aaron Judge and Uncle Ben can get 5 at-bats, because no one's going to beat them if they're able to do that.
Big news for Jazz, though. All-star last year, 30-30 guy. He wanted to be 50-50 this year, so you see him coming alive. That's a big deal. Now, despite last night's loss, May has been, well, it's been a little bit better for the Mets. Right after that awful start, they're now 8-5 after starting season 10-21. I'm not saying they're out of the woods yet. You know, there's been a lot of things with this team, and they haven't had great breaks. Clay Holmes takes a liner up, breaks his leg last night. It was just heartbreaking. He has been so good. The Mets offense has been honestly deplorable. What's going on, and how do they get better?
Too many injuries. So the young guys of Ewing and Bench have to step up. I love the weapons that they both possess, bat-to-ball skills and speed. I want to see more from Mark Vientos, though, especially at home. He's hitting .210 with just 1 home run at home, .265 with 5 home runs on the road. Obviously, Juan Soto has to continue to stay healthy and get his foot down, but Bo Bichette is the weapon. He has to step up. No extra base hits over his last 2 weeks. That's unacceptable. He's a much better player than that. Has to step up, especially all the injuries they have.
Mets 3.7 runs a game. That would be the worst since 1992. Offense has got to get better. They've gotten some good starting pitching tonight. All right, some of you will see Fernando Tatis Jr., who somehow doesn't have a home run. Makes no sense. But the Padres playing well, taking on the Mariners, a baseball night in America. Most of the country gets Juan Soto. Can he get the Mets going? The Subway Series at Citi Field, the Mets and the Yanks. Can't wait to watch, and we'll see you after. Enjoy it, everyone.
The power of baseball goes beyond the...
Baseball night in America from the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and 2 teams with their eyes firmly set for October baseball, the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres. It's the middle game of this 3-game weekend series. Great to have you with us here from inside T-Mobile Park. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Eric Karros and Ike. For the Padres right now, in a lot of ways, things are going really well. You're just a half game outside the Dodgers for first place in the National League West, but the offense has been a problem, especially the big bats, Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado.
Well, they're a playoff team for sure. The thing about it, though, is they've done this, as you mentioned, without Fernando Tatis Jr. nor Manny Machado playing like the superstars that they are. You take a look at Tatis, still searching for that 1 home run. Manny Machado hitting below 200. These are things that aren't going to last. 2 of the best players of the game. San Diego already having the early season success. These guys haven't even got going yet.
Talking to a guy who's off to the best start in his career. Rodriguez, a 30-30 candidate each and every season, an all-star again last year. It's been a notoriously slow starter, but this year he's off to a red-hot start.
And not wasting any time. This month of May, already he's hit 5 home runs. When you talk about Julio Rodriguez, you look at what he's done in the past, and you mentioned always the slow starts, but ends up strong. He's one of the true superstar players in all of baseball. Can beat you so many different ways. He'll look to do that this evening against the Padres.
Oh, he is such a major part of what the Mariners do, especially at the plate. It's the Mariners and the San Diego Padres. Game 2 of 3. We've got first pitch from Seattle coming up next on Fox. Back inside T-Mobile Park, Mariners and the Padres. Game 2 of this 3-game series. And a beautiful day here in Seattle. Here's what the lineup looks like for the Padres. Jackson Merrill batting leadoff. We talked about the struggles of Tatis and Machado. A couple of guys who've been swinging it well for the Padres as of late. Gavin Sheets and Miguel Andujar, a first-year Padre. Nick Castellanos is in right field. He's in the starting lineup today. And Duran doing the catching and batting ninth. Today's same-game parlay available now on FanDuel. Plenty to choose from. Logan Gilbert getting the ball today for the Seattle Mariners. And will today be the day that Fernando Tatis gets his first home run of the season? They've been saying that, asking that for a while in San Diego. As the Mariners get set to take the field, it's salute to Armed Forces Weekend here in Seattle. The dark green caps for the Mariners. And Logan Gilbert is up on the mound making start number 10, working on an extra day's rest and coming off one of the best starts he's had all season long. He went 6 scoreless his last time up on the mound.
Yeah, had a great start against the White Sox. You know, he's been throwing the ball really well this year, especially his last few starts. You see the walks, only 10 this year, 52 strikeouts. He's going to attack you. How is he going to attack it? Four-seamer he throws the most. Now, he's not throwing it as much as he did last year. Added the cutter and changeup this year. Slider not as often, but you can see you have to defend against an assortment of pitches when you're facing this young man.
Former first-round draft pick by the Mariners and an opening day starter this year for the second straight season for Seattle. Well, this is a team built around pitching and in particular starting pitching. This is what it looks like behind Gilbert. Johnny Pereda does the catching today. Cal Raleigh placed on the injured list for the first time in his career. The MVP runner-up last season. In the outfield, it's a Rosarena, Rodriguez, and Raley left to right. Josh Naylor, a free agent addition for the Mariners at first base. Young, Crawford, and Rivas rounding out the infield. There was a couple of late scratches to this lineup for the Mariners. Mitch Garver and also Brendan Donovan, their catcher and third baseman. So some changes at the last moment for that man, manager Dan Wilson, a Mariners Hall of Famer, in his second full season at the helm of the Mariners. No word given yet exactly as to why the late scratch to both Donovan and Garver, but neither were good enough to go today. Craig Stammen in his first season as Padres skipper, former big league reliever, 6 seasons with the Padres. Jackson Merrill getting set to lead things off. One of just 2 lefty bats in this lineup today for San Diego. And Logan Gilbert's first pitch is fouled back. That was the Padres team that won last night, won in a close one. They relied on that great bullpen once again. 2-0 win for San Diego over Seattle. One ball and 1 strike. They are hoping that they can get their lineup kicked into high gear. The fact that they have won as many games as they have, EK, without their lineup really doing what you envisioned them being able to do this season, no doubt gives Craig Stammen some hope that once everything starts clicking, they could really take off, even more so than they already have.
Well, you talk about, you know, the bullpen being electric at the end of the game. The offense as well has had some dramatic walk-off home runs already in this early part of the season. Exciting, yes. Sustainable, not so sure.
Soft fly ball out to Luke Raley. And he makes the catch towards the gap for out number 1. Well, you saw there one of the highest ground ball rates in baseball this year. This is an offense that has hit for the lowest average of any team. They're 25th in baseball in runs per game. And there's some real hope that some Padres hitters can start hanging some line drives and getting the ball in the air a little bit more.
Well, and this is one of them, right? Fernando Tatis Jr., again, one of the best players in all of baseball when he's going right. He's hitting the ball hard and just not getting airborne this year.
It's the longest home run drought of his career. If you include the postseason, it's over 200 consecutive plate appearances without leaving the yard. Gilbert's 1-0. For the month of May, Tatis barely batting 200, just 2 extra base hits. And more to the point of the ground balls, the second highest ground ball rate of any major league hitter this month. Another swing and a miss, 1-2.
Well, the thing about it, he's become obviously very aware. And as a hitter, it's hard enough to hit home runs when you're going well. But then when you're trying to and you're constantly being asked about it, it just kind of snowballs.
2 balls and 2 strikes. I have to imagine it snowballs even more when there are other pieces around you who are also struggling. And you feel probably even more pressure to try to get the ball in the air and do some damage.
Well, you can't hide, right? I mean, it just becomes more exemplified.
Gilbert with a strikeout, his first today.
Put him away with that slider. Only fastball he saw was that very first pitch of the at-bat. The four-seamer. After that, sliders and splitters.
Two outs, nobody on for Manny Machado. Well, we talked about the struggles of the Padres offense. The funny thing is they've hit the ball harder than nearly any team in baseball, and Machado is evidence of that, especially this month. He's batting .115 in May, but a hard hit rate that will put him among one of the better hitters in baseball. So hitting the ball hard with nothing to show for it. As Gilbert gets ahead 0-2.
Well, sometimes it's that old adage, you know, it's better to be lucky than good, right? And no matter, you know, what anybody tells you, you walk up to the plate and you see that scoreboard and it's got an average of 185. Just, man, it's got to change.
Funny looking swing there from Machado. Rivas has this cut of the grass to retire the side in order. A clean 1-2-3, top of the first from Logan Gilbert. J.P. Crawford leads things off today for the Seattle Mariners. Randy Arozarena has simply been one of the most productive hitters all season long in the majors. He bats in the cleanup spot, and Luke Raley has absolutely feasted this year on right-handed pitching. The platoon outfielder batting 5th and in right field for the Mariners. They're facing off against the veteran Walker Buehler, first-year Padre, making start number 9 on the year.
Yeah, he's coming off a great start as well, just against the St. Louis Cardinals. Had one of his better outings all year long, and you can see he is not just a flamethrower anymore. He's going to try and move the ball around the plate, make you cover an assortment of pitches, try and keep you off balance.
7-pitch mix as this ball in the air finds Laureano in left field. 1 pitch and 1 away. Crawford retired. It brings up Julio Rodriguez. Buehler pitching against a team that was at one point his arch rival. 7 years with the Dodgers, a 2-time All-Star. Former first-round draft pick by Los Angeles out of Vanderbilt. Strike 1 to Rodriguez. It's a 7-pitch mix for Walker Buehler. Working on an extra day's rest, and exactly 1 month ago today he faced the Mariners in San Diego. Pitched well that day, worked into the 6th inning, 7 strikeouts, allowed just 2 runs. Mariners were shut out last night in game 1 of this series, and they got to experience that back end of the Padres bullpen firsthand. Padres winning 2-0. It's been an inconsistent offense this year for the Mariners. 21st in baseball in runs per game. And has been the case for a number of years now. It's a team that really relies on a long ball. They're trying to get away from that a little bit, but when they hit the ball over the fence, normally good things happen for the Mariners. When they can't, which of course is not an easy thing to do consistently, it can be a long 9 innings.
Well, one of the things you're going to, hope to improve on is hitting with runners in scoring position. You just haven't been able to get anything going. You take a look at percentage of runs via the home run. Seattle #1. You just said it.
Go back to the start of last year. 2 teams pretty polar opposite in how much they rely on hitting the ball over the fence. 2-2 now on Rodriguez. One out, nobody on. Fouls it away.
It's one of the things too when you're looking at Walker Buehler as he's facing Julio. You know, there was a time where he could just put you away, and he's not going to do it. Even his last outing where he threw really well, only 2 strikeouts.
Three and one. Long at bat here for Rodriguez in the first inning. Three-two. He pops this up. Tatis, pardon me. Bogarts underneath and makes the catch. Tatis over at second base today. A rare start for Fernando Tatis Jr. outside of right field. 2 outs, and here comes Josh Naylor. Naylor fouls it away. Although Tatis today making his 12th start at second base. Platinum Glove winning right fielder Jay Cronenworth on the injured list. So Tatis at second today, and Castellanos anchoring right field where Tatis normally would be.
You know, Craig Stammen telling us, you know, about Tatis and even Machado, who's DHing today. Even though the offense hasn't been there, the defense has been there day in and day out. Very easy to go out and think about the hitting and wonder what's going on, and then that filter into the fielding. But they've done a great job so far.
One and two on Naylor. DH day for Machado. Always a constant in this Padres lineup, and normally over there at third. Two and two. Now the season got off to a slow start for Josh Naylor, but he's picked it up as of late. Out towards left center. Merrill ranges over and makes the catch in the gap. For out number 3, Walker Buehler, a 1-2-3, bottom of the first inning.
Most to you.
Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, a grand slam for your budget. And we take you back to the summer of 1999 when this ballpark opened up, and current Mariners skipper Dan Wilson with a double in that one. Now T-Mobile Park, a mid-season opening.
I was going to say, no way was he going deep opposite field, because this place was a graveyard.
Yeah, it's still considered a pitcher's park. And
yeah,
they've had the fences moved in for over 10 years now.
You're going to tell me? I remember playing here. I was like, man, oh man.
Gavin Sheets leads it off. A deep fly out to right field, and this ball is gone. Gavin Sheets making T-Mobile Park look small. His 7th this year. He's having a hot month of May, and that continues.
This thing just up on the inner half of the plate, a cutter that did not cut. You know, it's one of the things, you know, Gilbert, as well as he's thrown, he's been susceptible to the home run ball. It's his 9th home run so far.
Here is Bogarts. How about this? 9 home runs for Gilbert, all solo home runs. That trend continuing today. Leadoff home run for Sheets. Nothing in 2 on Bogarts. Swinging the bat well this year. His 14th big league season, his 4th with San Diego. 4-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger. Really playing some nice defense this year.
He's starting to play like he did his first year in San Diego, where he had almost an 800 OPS. You mentioned much more athletic in the field. And Dr. Greg Stammen, who was telling us, he's healthy. He had an opportunity in the offseason to be healthy.
A wave and a miss. Chasing after that split finger. 1 out. All right, you were talking about this place being a graveyard. If you look at the manual scoreboard in left field, it used to be on top of the fence in left. So you see the yellow line at the bottom of your screen. The manual scoreboard used to be on top of the fence, and the fences were deeper in left field. So it was higher and deeper.
You're talking to the wrong guy right now. My last at bat in Major League Baseball was here, and I hit a ball to left field, and I thought it was gone. And I'm thinking, man, this is going to be sweet.
What a way to
fly ball left. Take that.
Sounds like you're over it, though.
I don't remember it.
Here's Andujar. Deep fly out to that famous left field, but not that deep. Rosarena is in to make the catch. It was like that a little bit. A little farther back.
No. It was. Remember, you just got done telling me it was back by the scoreboard, and I thought it was gone. So, guy wasn't running in. Come on, man.
You couldn't even see it anymore, yet it still got caught. So 2 down. Yeah, it was probably right in the back of that bullpen. But in play. Castellanos the batter.
Castellanos getting the start today. Good numbers against Gilbert. 3 for 8. He's got a home run against him. Had a huge home run the other day against the Cardinals. Off the closer.
Rolls over this fair behind the bag. Ribas a long throw, and it's in time. Let's see if the Padres want to challenge this or not. Close play at first. As of now, it ends the inning. No challenge coming. Gavin Sheets, his 7th home run, puts the Padres in front early.
At the ballpark.
Padres leading 1-0 going to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Randy Arozarena leading things off for the Mariners, facing Walker Buehler. Fouls away the first pitch, and we take you down inside the home dugout here at T-Mobile Park, and we say hello to Mariners starting pitcher Bryce Miller. Bryce, thanks for hopping on with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, Mariner fans are happy to see you off the injured list. You just were able to pitch for the first time. Man, you were throwing harder than you ever have in your career. 98, 99. What was it like for you to get back up on the mound for the first time this season?
It was a lot of fun. Obviously, my spring training went a little longer than expected, but spent 35 games or whatever watching from the bench and from the TV, so it was good to be back out there on the mound and feel like I was contributing a little bit. But yeah, I was definitely happy with the velo.
Early on in your career, how have you evolved as a pitcher, and what's been the most important stride you think you've made?
Oh, we gotta go. No. Okay. You want me to answer that, or are we moving on?
Well, you know what, Bryce, we're going to get back to that in a second. Because we want to play for everybody something that was on social media the other day. You talking about your good friend Logan Gilbert.
Here we go. The day in the life. Logan Gilbert, narrated by Bryce. We're going to take this water ball around. Whatever this is, we're going to act like we're doing that. Successful day at BP, tagged 0 balls. And that's a day in the life of Logan Gilbert.
Now that we pared that down. That's the short version, the director's cut for the in-game broadcast. People can certainly go find it on the Mariners X account. That was a pretty good narrate. Is that the typical day for a starting pitcher when you're not up on the mound?
That's a typical Logan Gilbert day. I wouldn't say it's a normal starting pitcher day, but I guess everybody's day looks a little different, you know, and his is definitely interesting.
So what's your day look like? You know, how is your day different, or what's important for you?
Main thing for me, depending on the day of the week, it's the throwing. It differs on, based on when I have a bullpen or when I'm throwing in game. based on intensity or distance, really. But no, Logan, he's got every possible contraption or tool, I guess, and he gets the use out of everything. So he's fun. He's definitely a good guy to follow around, and if you have any spare time, you can definitely find something to fill your time with if you're with him.
And if you're trying to sell a new baseball contraption, Logan might be your first customer.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a hamster ball in his bag. It really doesn't matter what it is. If there's some kind of use for it, he'll use it.
Well, Bryce, why don't you get back? Eric, you want to ask your question again about
what was my question?
I think it had something to do with how Bryce has evolved.
No, he's evolved. Yeah, just so as a younger pitcher, you know, you've got a few years in now. You know what?
Cracked out to center field. Merrill has it come right to him. 2 outs.
How have you changed, and what have you emphasized more?
I mean, over the last few years, the last couple years, the main focus was trying to always add something new. And you know, when I first came up in 23, it was all right. I got a fastball, and after that, that's about it. But in the last couple years, you know, I've added some pitches, and last year was my first year, you know, dealing with extended IL time, and I think I learned a lot from that as well. But I think I've definitely matured on the mound. I've kind of hopefully gotten over the, you know, if things go wrong, immediately feeling like I need to change, and just trusting my stuff that it's good. And I think it also helps if the velo is going to be where it was at last week. But no, I mean, that's the main thing, just trusting my stuff and attacking and getting ahead and have some fun.
What would you tell your younger self right now? If you got to go back in time and tell 22-year-old, what would you say?
I'd probably say, shoot, I don't know. Hey, believe what the Mariners are telling you, and and get ahead and believe in your stuff. I think that was the main thing that they taught me right after the draft, and when I got to pro ball, was just that, you know, the fastball was really good, and I had tools to develop other stuff, but you don't really fully believe that until you get out on the mound and you see results. And so I don't know, I'd say, hey, it's good. Fastball's good. Believe in it and get ahead and win your OOs and go from there.
Well, Bryce, Mariner fans are happy to see you healthy and back up on the mound, and they're all looking forward to the next narration of Logan Gilbert's day.
Yeah, I heard there's been some requests to get some other guys, so we'll see.
Yes.
See what we can do.
I think you've discovered your new side hustle, Bryce. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Here's a throw to second base, and safe at second. Luke Raley slaps it back.
Now, Raley got a good jump, and it looked like he may have got that tag on the backside. Just see if he was able to grab second base before that tag was applied. Looked like he did.
Well, no challenge coming by the Padres.
Really a nice job with a slide. You see him go to the outer part of the bag and lift his left arm up as well. Pretty athletic move.
Yeah, his first steal this year. And Canzone draws ball 4. So 2 outs and 2 on for the Mariners. Well, walks have been a bit of a problem at times this year for Buehler. He had not walked a batter in either of his last 2 starts, which was some progress. Here's Johnny Pereda. Cal Raleigh on the injured list. Mitch Garver was scheduled to play today. He was scratched roughly 2 hours before first pitch. So Pereda batting 8th and doing the catching. Has been in the big leagues sparingly each of the last few seasons. He's played in just over 50 major league games. This is his 4th this season for Seattle. Buehler ahead 0-2. Mariners with some traffic here in the second after being retired in order by Walker Buehler in the first.
Pareda last night, a couple of strikeouts. He hit a ball, though, absolute rocket to left field. It was actually a big play in the game. Cole Young on second base. Laureano came in and made a diving play and able to double up Young at second.
Foul back, still 0-2. The Mariners saw Laureano a lot early on in his career with the Athletics. That was a rolling, tumbling catch by Laureano last night in left field, and a pretty big pivotal point in that game in Game 1 of the series. Raley, the runner at second, Canzone at first base.
Buehler still looking for his first strikeout. He's had 2 strikes on a number of guys, but has not been able to put anybody away.
This is down the line, slicing foul. The Mariners are making him work. He's nearing 40 pitches with 2 outs here in the second.
Well, you have to figure, too, the way the Padres used their bullpen last night, that Mason Miller has to be off, you would think.
No doubt.
32 pitches last night.
A 4-out save for Mason Miller last night, 3rd this season. Buehler, by the way, just 1 swing and miss so far today, as the count goes to 2-2 on Pareda. Way outside. So back-to-back full counts from Buehler. Number 9-man Leo Rivas waiting on deck. It's been a single and a walk for Seattle here in the second inning.
Coming up on the 9th pitch of this at-bat as well.
Here it is from Buehler. Swing and a miss. A well-timed whiff from Walker Buehler, and he strands a pair. Padres lead it after 2. Padres take the lead to the top of the 3rd. A lot of sliders and splitters so far today from Logan Gilbert, making his 10th start of the season, facing Ramon Laureano. Veteran outfielder looks at a strike. Now, Laureano got off to a blistering hot start this year for the Padres. Has cooled down. Bats 8th today. That took a quick turn, didn't it? 0-2.
A filthy pitch, curveball right there. Again, what makes him so difficult, you've got to cover so many different pitches. Kind of the way of hitting, though, nowadays. You know, it's not just a get up there and worry about fastball, slider, change. Somebody's got a cutter, they got a sweeper, they got a splitter, they got a sinker, they got a 4-seamer.
We talked to Greg Salmon today about that. And as a former major league pitcher, he seemed like a good guy to ask, because it does seem like you look at any big league game any day of the week, and gone are the days where a starter has just 4 pitches. I mean, 5 seems like almost the minimum. Gilbert with 6, Buehler with 7. This is lifted into short right field. Cole Young, second baseman, is out, and he makes the catch with 2 hands. Today's pitcher profile sponsored by Wendy's. Logan Gilbert in his career against San Diego has been fantastic. 5 starts, a 1.69 ERA. He's gone at least 7 innings in each of his last 3 outings against the Padres, including a 12 strikeout game back in 2023. But we asked Craig if he felt like, is this just a matter of now with the technology we can identify all these pitches uniquely, unlike we could 10 or 15 years ago? So a slider and a sweeper are now 2 different pitches as opposed to just 1. Or are pitchers really throwing more pitches than they did 10, 15, 20 years ago? And as Duran steps in, he does feel like it's a little bit of both, but there's no doubt, as he mentioned, that the idea of pitch design, the pitching labs, and the ability to take an Edgertronic camera, look at the grip of a pitcher, and then try to mimic that, and the spin and the release, all of a sudden you can pick up a new pitch much faster than you ever could before.
Well, you can be much more specific now when you're making a change or an adjustment. You know, before it's, I'm going to throw it a little bit slower, or maybe I'm going to drop my arm a little bit, or I'm going to change the grip. Well, you can specifically do it. You just mentioned with those Edgertronic cameras.
Duran into short left field. J.P. Crawford sprints out near the line, and he makes the catch. A couple of pop-outs for the Padres here in the third, back to the top of the order.
You know, gone are the days where the pitching coach is in there, the bullpen, and the catcher's there. And, hey, just try and throw it a little bit. Just get on the side of the ball, you know, and then you throw it. Oh, yeah, hey, that looked great. It's a new pitch.
One time through for Logan Gilbert, the one run. That was the Sheets homer to begin the second. Here is Jackson Merrill. Yeah, you think about how much pitching dominates the game today and all the things that baseball has done to try to promote more offense. And although there is more technology now for hitters, the technology still really favors the pitcher.
You know, again, the whole thing, the evolution of pitching has far exceeded what it has been for hitting. And look, at the end of the day, hitting is the hardest thing to do in all pro sports. And I'm not saying that from a biased standpoint. That's just facts.
1-2, whipping on a 97-mile-an-hour heater.
You know, and the pitcher has the ball. The pitcher can control the action. A hitter, while you want to be proactive, is basically reacting to what is happening from the pitcher. You can improve your percentages, but it's tough to hit.
Swing and a miss. On cue, a strikeout. Gilbert's third today. He retires the side in order for the second time. Bottom of the third inning, Padres leading on a Gavin Sheets home run. Walker Buehler 40 pitches through 2 innings. Able to strand a pair back into second, facing Leo Rivas, which hitting third baseman to begin the home third. Brendan Donovan was in the starting lineup today for the Mariners. Donovan was somewhat recently activated off the injured list because of a groin issue. And he was batting leadoff and at third, but roughly 2 hours before first pitch, Donovan was scratched. So Rivas in there, manning third and batting ninth. (3-0). That's the third straight batter with a 3-ball count facing Buehler.
You know, one of the things that Walker excelled at in his last start, he threw 17 of 21 first pitch strikes. You know, tonight, only his second hitter that he started off with a ball. You know, that leads to his success. Again, he's got to work fast. He's got to work ahead. You know, he can't get into hitters' counts.
He gets back into the count here. Top of the order is next. Crawford on deck. 3-2 to Rivas. He tries to check his swing. He fouls it back, and Buehler, who was behind 3-0, ends up striking him out. Well, this summer, the biggest tournament on the planet comes to America, and you can see it all right here on Fox. Get ready for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It all kicks off June 11th on Fox and FS1. Some of those games will be played right across the street here from T-Mobile Park at Lumen Field. Strike one to J.P. Crawford. With Donovan's absence in the lineup today, Crawford batting leadoff, something he's done a lot of over the course of his career. Nearly 500 career starts at the leadoff spot. There is Brendan Donovan. Mariners have not said what the issue was for Donovan or for Garver.
Well, Donovan again, earlier this year on the IL with that lower extremity issue. For all you hockey people.
I was going to say. Does he play for the Kraken now?
That's right.
Still 1-2 on J.P. Crawford.
I told you, I was watching that ball game last night, and I saw him in his second to last at bat running and beating out an infield hit. Just didn't look great, but he stayed in the game.
Strike 3 called, and Crawford is caught looking. Changeup locks him up. That's 3 straight punch outs for Walker Buehler.
Walker on the strikeout train right now. Last 2 called strike 3.
Here's Rodriguez with 2 outs. 5 home runs this month, 7 in total. Now the Mariners center fielder fouls it back for strike 1.
Take that back. Rivas was swinging. Still, though, 3 strikeouts, only had 2 in his last start against the Cardinals.
He has a below average strikeout rate, Walker Buehler. Has been a good ground ball pitcher this year, but not a ton of swing and miss. One ball and 1 strike. Rodriguez, a long at bat his last time up. Ended up popping up to short. Two-1. Chase really goes after that. They classified as a cutter. It looked a lot like a slider right there. It had a lot of movement. But firm at 90 miles an hour.
Tried to run that sinker back over the outer part of the plate. Just a bit outside. Julio does a nice job of staying off that.
Buehler shaking, trying to get on the same page with Duran, his rookie catcher. A wave and a miss. That had some pretty vicious late movement. A sweeper puts Rodriguez away. 4 straight strikeouts for Walker Buehler.
The unbeatable foe.
Well, hits have been hard to come by in this game for both sides through 3 innings. Padres blown hit. The Gavin Sheets home run. They lead a 1-0. Here is Tatis. Struck out on a slider back in the first inning. That's a low liner, and it's caught right by the shoelaces by J.P. Crawford. 1 pitch and 1 away. Well, the Padres are trying to figure out how to get Tatis right. Batting .238 this year, slugging well below his career norm. Meanwhile, Cal Raleigh got off to a very rough start this year, recently placed on the injured list. That came on Thursday. And that magical season last year was 60 home runs. Mariners were happy to report that they don't feel the oblique injury is as serious as they initially thought. When you look at those 2 stars for the Mariners, they can at least point to a very significant injury for Cal Raleigh, and there can be hope that when he returns and gets healthy that he can be some version of what they're used to seeing. For the Padres and Tatis, it's more of a mystery.
I think, I mean, it's a mystery, but he's getting beat on the fastball. He's not catching up to that. He's not hitting the ball out in front. Yes, he's hitting the ball hard. He's still getting the barrel there. But there isn't the pull side in the air, and that's where the power is. Again, he's had shoulder issues in the past. You wonder if that's finally coming back to bite him. He was suspended for a year. I mean, that's a reality that, you know, people would entertain. You know, I feel like he's just got to get the bat out in front of the plate. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Just a tad bit late.
Machado walks on 4 pitches. There's Cal Raleigh. 1 out and 1 on. This Armed Forces Day, and during America's 250th year, baseball salutes our service members and their families. To help serve those who serve us, visit MLBtogether.com. First time Cal Raleigh has ever been on the injured list. That's a big loss for the Mariners for the time being. Ball 1-2, Gavin Sheets. This is being challenged by Correa. ABS powered by T-Mobile.
Call's confirmed.
And it was called correctly, just low. Now the Mariners have 1 challenge remaining.
Yeah, 5 straight for Gilbert. Don't see that often at all. Again, a much different pitcher too when he falls behind 1-0 to a hitter as opposed to 0-1.
Make it 6 straight that have missed the strike zone from Gilbert.
You know, Gilbert coming into tonight's ball game 1-0. Opponents end up with an 1100 OPS. If he's 0-1, hitters only have a 482 OPS. Dramatic difference.
Ball 3.
I mean, I think you've got to be careful here too, because if I'm Sheets up there, I'm thinking, okay, he's just going to try and throw a strike. It's been 7 non-strikes. He might be unloading here.
Lands a strike that time with a good fastball. 3-1.
Good pitch there. Stayed on the outer part of the plate.
And Gilbert gets back into the count. 3-2.
You know, that home run he gave up earlier to Sheets, 9th home run of the year. 8 of those, ironically, have been here in this ballpark. But you would think, as big as this place plays.
That is in the dirt. Back-to-back walks. You don't see that very often from Logan Gilbert. And the Padres threatening. 1 out and 2 on.
Padres have the right man coming to the plate. Xander Bogaerts. Probably been their most consistent hitter all year. Little mound visit to break things up and just try and buy Logan a little time, catch his breath. Bogaerts 7 home runs. You see the pitch count had been relatively efficient, really efficient coming into this inning. Retired the first hitter on 1 pitch and then just 4 straight balls.
Well, Gilbert not much of a ground ball pitcher, but he does have a chance for a double play to get out of it easily. Bogaerts does hit the ball on the ground quite a bit. Strike 1. Machado, the runner at second. Sheets is over at first. Padres threatening to add on here in the 4th inning. Bogaerts not an easy batter to strike out. The 1-1. Nope, instead a look over at second base.
You know, as good as Gilbert has been you know, coming into tonight's game, he's got the hardest hit percentage in the American League. Almost 50%.
It's hard to know what to make of that when you think about how diverse his pitch mix is, how much swing and miss he can get. A guy who's 6'6", huge extension. Yeah. And he has given up among the most extra base hits in the majors this year among any starting pitcher. And a little bit of a jam here, 1 out and 2 on. You can see Gilbert kind of limboing back, trying to make that a strike.
Almost like a hitter trying to get a ball to stay fair when it's down the line.
Two-two. Line left field, and Arozarena plays it on a hop, and the Padres have the bases loaded. Just the second hit today off of Gilbert, but the bag's packed.
Ball, just a curveball, came off the bat. It would be designated as hard hit, 96 miles an hour, anything over 95. Hard hit.
Bases loaded for Andujar. This chops foul, strike one. Andujar's been a really good presence in this Padres lineup, especially with so many key bats slumping. Craig Stammen, first-year manager for the Padres, really cited him as someone that the Padres are hoping to have more of their hitters emulate, mostly because of his ability to get the ball in the air. Good line drive hitter. Nothing in 2.
Yeah, it's one of the things he mentioned. Just as a guy that is going to put the bat on the ball, hit line drives, not a lot of power. Right now, the perfect guy for San Diego to have up at the plate. Bases loaded, just wants to flip something to the outfield.
Now, to be fair, he has hit his fair share of ground balls this year. He has one of the higher ground ball rates of any batter in this lineup, but he's also batting close to 300, so maybe the mind's eye of
right.
He's been getting some more results. Does he go? No, he does not. It's 2-2.
Strong enough to hold up there.
Runners all around, 1 away. Gilbert's 2-2. Got him to swing at a pitch well up out of the zone.
Yeah, it was just protection mode right there. I think he had his mind made up that he was going to swing, and that thing was just, uh-oh. Got to foul that thing off somehow.
Three and 2 now. Andujar has walked all of 3 times this year. And 122 plate appearances coming into today. He's staring at a 3-2 count with the bases loaded. Here it comes from Logan Gilbert. Deep fly down the line, pulled, and this ball is foul. If he were a qualified hitter, he'd have the lowest walk rate in the majors. Lengthy at bat here from Andujar facing Gilbert. He was approaching 60 pitches, trying to get out of a jam. His 3-2 again. Chopping. Rivas at third. Retreat, steps on third base. That's all they'll get. The Padres grab a run. Machado scores from third. And it's 2-0 San Diego. So it was a ground ball, but it does score a run.
I feel like Rivas moves through it. Manny does a great job of base running. Look at this path he takes, working way inside, way in on the grass. Excellent baseball move by Manny. But take a look at this. He's out on the dirt. Look where he's running. And you can do that. Rivas makes a decision to not try and throw home. But again, great baseball play by Manny Machado.
This ball tagged by Castellanos. Back, and Castellanos leaves the yard. A backbreaker from the Padres, and Nick Castellanos, his third this year, a 3-run blast. And it's a 5-0 Padres lead.
Castellanos gets a slider. That thing just kind of spins up there. There was a reason why Craig Stammen put him in the lineup. 3 for 8 with a home run against Gilbert. Craig Stammen looks smart as heck.
Strike one to Laureano. So the first home run Gilbert's given up this year, that's not a solo blast. A 3-run home run by Castellanos. Well, if you're the Mariners, you're saying there's still plenty of time. It's the 4th inning. But on the other hand, even without Mason Miller, this is one of the game's truly great bullpens. Now, a 5-run deficit can feel like a whole lot more than that facing the Padres. This chop's foul over by third.
Well, Gilbert obviously not going to like the home run, but where the inning really got away from him, 7 straight balls to Machado and Sheets. Ended up walking both of those guys, obviously. Bogarts the base hit, but the 2 walks.
He does not go. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Laureano. Gilbert was in cruise control through the first 3 innings, and now Dan Wilson is coming out. He is not happy at all about that call. Well, you do not see normally a lot of emotion out of the Mariners skipper. He is hot. Let Chad Fairchild have it.
Well, there have been a couple of check swing, and none of them have gone Seattle's way.
Bench coach Manny Acta, former Major League skipper, trying to save his manager. And that's what he's saying. Dan Wilson is saying both of them.
That one he's got an argument on. And I felt like Laureano broke his hands there. One on and Duhar, no, but that, yes.
2 outs to 2-2. Rip foul. Broken bat, grounder foul over by third. Well, Dan Wilson, who played for the great Lou Piniella, he's a far cry from Sweet Lou in terms of the emotion. You don't see Dan Wilson get that hot all that often. But he was channeling some Lou Piniella right there.
I think just trying to show his pitcher he's got his back. You know, Gilbert having a tough inning, obviously.
Over 30 pitches this inning, 32 to be exact, coming here from Gilbert. half. His pitches today have come in this inning. And it continues.
You know, the crazy thing is, before that Machado at bat where he walked him, he'd only gone to a 2-ball count once.
Well, a big inning for the Padres, highlighted by the 3-run home run by Nick Castellanos. It was a 1-0 San Diego lead going into that 4th inning. Now 5-0 Friars. Five-0 Padres. Josh Naylor leading things off for the Mariners in the bottom of the 4th inning. Mariners manager Dan Wilson has been ejected from this game. Nick Castellanos with the 3-run home run to open it up for San Diego. We believe that Wilson was ejected before he went onto the field and argued with first base umpire Chad Fairchild. So bench coach Manny Acta will run things from here on out. Wilson not happy about a couple of check swing calls that did not go the Mariners' way. 3rd ejection for Dan Wilson, lifetime as Mariners skipper. He had 2 last year. Into right field, a base hit. Naylor is aboard. You were talking early on about Buehler and not having the same swing and miss stuff and more of a kitchen sink approach. Last inning in the 3rd was the first time that Buehler, as Manny Acta, you can see bench coach who's now managing the Mariners. It was the first time Buehler had struck out the side in order since September of 2024.
It's hard to believe, right? You compare him to the type of pitcher he was when he first came up. Butane was his nickname in LA. He just used to rear back. And he had a heck of a 4-seamer.
Mariners trying to chip away at this one. Leadoff man reaching in the home 4th. And Rosarena takes just off the plate.
One thing that has not changed with Walker is the competitiveness. I mean, he will fight you to the end.
Way outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rosarena. An all-star last year. A free agent at the end of this season. And he has been one of the most productive hitters in baseball this year, and certainly one of the most productive hitter for the Mariners so far this year. Buehler's 2-2. Hitting for an average, getting on base, walking plenty. A lot of doubles this year from Rosarena. And another walk to Randy Rosarena. That brings up Luke Raley. Player profile sponsored by Liberty Mutual. Raley, a platoon outfielder for the Mariners, and when he's in there, he has been remarkably productive. If you look at batters this year with a minimum 120 plate appearances, Raley 3rd in barrel rate, nearly 25% of the time, 6th in hard hit, and top 10 in slugging. His 10 home runs lead the Mariners.
I could put Seattle right back in this ball game with 1 swing of the bat. Put themselves in a good position here, and Walker only given up, I believe, 1 home run this year,
and none to a lefty.
Well, we showed that graphic earlier. No team has depended more on the home run than the Seattle Mariners. Got the right guy at the plate.
Having a monster month. 14 RBIs, half of those came in one game. He had a 7-ribby night to begin the Mariners' last road trip. He hit a grand slam and a 3-run homer. It was the first grand slam of his career. Nobody out, first and second. Mariners trying to get on the board. Raley takes low for ball 1. One-0 from Buehler.
Really nice pitch by Walker right there. Throws him with the changeup. Last thing that Raley was looking for.
He's doubled up on it now. 3 straight. Now Raley's been such a supreme fastball hitter this year. 8 of his 10 home runs have come off of heaters. Chopping over to first base. Sheets throws down to second. No throw to first base. Rosarena out at second base. Mariners have him on the corners with 1 away. One out, 2 on for Cole Young, who has been a real RBI force this year for the Mariners, especially for a guy who's been batting at the bottom of the order. Up a few spots today. Impressive young second baseman for the Mariners. Made his major league debut last May. Former first-round draft pick.
Yeah, done a real nice job. Has been unreal with the glove. Looking to do the same with the bat right here.
This is hit hard out to right field, and it drops in front of Castellanos. Naylor scores from third, and Cole Young picks up another ribby, and he gets the Mariners on the board. 5-1 Padres in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, you saw that graphic of what he's done with runners in scoring position. This pitch is a 4-seamer up on the zone. He gets on top of it. Again, this young man has done a real nice job in his first full year. Defensive has been elite. The at-bats have been quality.
Canzone does not go around. Ball 1. Mariners left-hand hitting DH. Now the problem hasn't always been for the Mariners getting them on base. The Mariners are about middle of the pack this year in the majors in on base percentage. The problem at times has been bringing them home. Mariners have the 4th most left on base in the majors this year. Only the Cubs, Pirates, and Astros have more. On the ground, over to second base. Tatis starting the double play chance, and it's not in time. Canzone is able to beat it out. Raley is into third.
Tatis, it just wasn't smooth. Just kind of, I don't want to say robotic, but it just, the transition of getting in the position to make the toss to Bogarts just wasn't as quick as he would have liked. Allowed Canzone to get down to first.
I mean, if you're the Padres, you have to be okay with that, don't you? You're taking a shortstop turn right fielder and putting him at second base.
Well, you're really okay with it when your right fielder today hits a 3-run home run. You think it's
that's a good point.
You don't even care.
This is the 12th time this year, 12th start for Tatis at second. Activity inside the bullpen. Rodriguez is warming up. 77 pitches for Buehler. Durant able to get a glove on that one. That's some late movement. Johnny Parade, the batter. Mariners have grabbed a run to get on the board, trying to hang a crooked number here in the 4th inning. On a 2-1. 3-1 to Pareda.
Walker really grinding, wants to get those 5 innings so he can report a victory and also help that bullpen. 80 pitches right now.
Full count. Stammen's got his bullpen up. 81 pitches for Buehler. Mariners runners on the corners, 2 outs. Foul ball.
Paredes already tonight accounting for 16 of those 82 pitches that Buehler has thrown.
Yeah, long at bat his last time up, eventually struck out. And another long at bat brewing here. Nine pitches his first time up, and we'll see at least 8 here in the 4th. Mariners have Raley at third, Canzone the man at first. Foul back, and Canzone on his way back to first base. Back-to-back 9-pitch at-bats for Pareda. Another 3-2. It is strike 3 called. Pareda frozen, and Buehler able to get through the 4th. Strands a pair, but the Mariners do get their first run on the board. Logan Gilbert in his career against the Padres has been lights out. Just 6 earned over 32 innings of work, and it really highlights the 5 earned runs so far today through just 4 innings. Duran pops this up, foul ground. Naylor by the Camberwell's got room, and he makes the catch. 1 pitch and 1 away. And Gilbert can really use a quick inning. 34 pitches in the 4th. Today's sleeper picks, sponsored by Mattress Firm. How about that American League West, EK? The A's are still at the top. They lead the Mariners and the Rangers by 2 games. The Astros, you know, for as bad as the Astros have been, they're 10 games under. They're only 6 games outside of first place. And they're probably saying, hey, if we could just get healthy, get some of our regulars back in the fold and pitch it a little bit better, we could get back up and near the top of that division. Here's the top of the order, Jackson Merrill.
Certainly clogged up, right? You just feel like Seattle and Texas with the pitching. No, A's have the hitting.
Well, there were so many people who picked the Mariners not only to win the West, but to go deep into the postseason. A lot of that's based on what they did last year, and part of it too based on the additions this offseason by the Mariners, namely adding Josh Naylor to a 5-year deal, returning a healthy rotation, a team so built around pitching.
Trade, right, for Donovan. That was a huge one, right?
Acquired Brendan Donovan. Donovan will have 2 years as a Mariner before hitting free agency. 1-2 coming to Merrill. He rolls over this softly to Cole Young. Now the Mariners second baseman handles it for out number 2. Now if you're watching the Mariners for the last 10, 20, 30 years, you're saying this is as talented of a group of players the Mariners have had almost since this ballpark's been open.
Right, but you know, that 162 game season does not discriminate, and you know, everybody's going to have the attrition, going to have to work through injuries, and you know, obviously the way that the Mariners have started, Cal Raleigh being on the IL and getting off to a slow start.
This has popped up a mile high by Tatis, and the catch is made by J.P. Crawford. So after that lengthy fourth, Gilbert barely breaks a sweat in a 1-2-3 fifth. Padres 5, Mariners 1, bottom of the fifth inning. 9-1-2 due up for the Mariners. Leo Rivas strike one. Bullpen was up for the Padres in the fourth. Walker Buehler able to get out of a jam and strand a pair. He's nearing 90 pitches on the day.
I said, he may not have the stuff that he once had, but the competitiveness maybe even greater now.
A guy who's been through Tommy John twice in his career. Two and two.
And really was one of the elite pitchers in the game for a period of 3-4 years. Had to reinvent himself, but found himself on the mound for the final out of the 2024 World Series.
Castellanos comes in and he makes the catch in right field. Rivas is out, one away. Leadoff man sent down. MLB Plus is new for 2026. You can stream MLB Network 24/7 in the U.S. and select out-of-market games every week, plus live radio broadcasts of every game. Game Day 3D, big inning, and minor league action. Visit MLB.com/MLB to subscribe today. Ball outside to J.P. Crawford. This is the third time through the order for Buehler. And the rotation for the Padres has not been great this year, and they have not thrown many innings. They're 25th in innings pitched. Padres starting pitchers. And that means that the bullpen has had to soak up a lot of innings so far this season. Padres have multiple starting pitchers on the injured list. Castellanos chasing, turning, watching, and this ball is over the fence. J.P. Crawford, a home run. Padres.
I'm guessing Walker gets another hitter or two. You don't want to get into the middle part of this lineup. Guys on and letting the Seattle Ball Club get right back into this ball game. Greg Stammen, the manager, trying to get Walker through 5 innings.
Rodriguez skies this in a very shallow center field. Popped up. Bogarts will handle this. 2 outs. Back to J.P. Crawford's 6th home run this year.
Doesn't miss that thing. Up in the zone, he gets on top of it. 6th of the year, huh?
Just got that over the wall. That brings up Josh Naylor. Bradley Rodriguez is back up in the bullpen. We saw him warming in the 4th. .97 pitches for Buehler. That's his season high. This ball is out to the gap in left center field. It's a base hit for Josh Naylor, cut off by Laureano. Naylor's 2nd hit today. And let's see if that's the end of the road now for Buehler. Rosarena's due up next. What will Stammen do?
I mean, Stammen is trying really hard to give Walker an opportunity, and You know, if he even tried to head out, Walker's going to give him a death stare with that competitiveness. I think Stammen knows it. You know, as a former pitcher, right? He's going to give him that opportunity. He's going to give him one more hitter. There's no way you can let him face Raley as a tying run.
Yeah, tying run on deck. Power lefty bat, so he will let him face the right-handed bat of Arozarena, who was walked and grounded out today.
I think, though, if you're in that dugout right now and you're looking at that, your manager, you're thinking, man, he's got our players. Like he's going to bat.
That's got to be one of the toughest things, right? Threading that needle between having your players back, but then also.
I hear you.
That is not an easy thing to do. This is being challenged. And it is a strike.
I think, though, the goodwill, the respect, all of that sort of stuff that you buy with this decision right here, I'm not saying it's worth a win, or risking a win, but over the course of a year, it is.
Now Buehler ahead, 0-2 right away on Arozarena.
And not that Stammen doesn't already have it. Right, you talk to these guys, and you know they all love playing for him, and you know they say he gets it.
First time at 100 pitches this year for Buehler. And he struck him out. Walker Buehler, an emphatic punch out to end his day. Strikes out Arozarena. J.P. Crawford trying to bring the Mariners a run closer after 5. Padres in front.
Freshly made, always available every single day.
Top of the 6th, Padres in front. Gilbert threw 34 pitches in that long 4th inning, but then bounced back a 6-pitch 5th inning. Retired the side in order, facing Machado here.
Yeah, no question. Gilbert has been the more pitch efficient of the 2 starters this evening, but Walker Buehler the more run efficient.
Machado gets ahead, 2 balls and a strike. This is popped up. Rivas into foul ground. And the Mariners' third baseman makes the catch. Machado is out. That brings up Gavin Sheets. Dual action sponsored by Roundup. It was Gavin Sheets that got the scoring started today. A leadoff home run in the 2nd inning. He's having a hot month of May. And then it was Nick Castellanos with a 3-run home run. It gave the Padres a 5-0 lead at the time. Strike 1. Walker Buehler able to get through 5 innings. His highest pitch count this year. Striking out 6, 1 shy of his season high. Ball and a strike to Sheets. Sheets the highest on base of any Padre this month. He was on base 3 times last night. He's been aboard twice today, a home run and a walk.
A really nice outing this evening for Buehler. Again, the stuff was sporadic, the competitiveness nonstop.
Just foul. 2-2.
And what we think is the final line, excellent. 5 innings, 2 runs.
Yeah, bullpen up once again for San Diego. It's a run of lefties that are due up for the Mariners in the bottom of the 6th inning. Sheets swings and misses. A good split finger there from Logan Gilbert. 2 down. That's his 5th strikeout. 2 outs, nobody on. Xander Bogaerts, the batter. 1 for 2 today. Single and a run scored. On the ground, Rivas picks this up. Squares over to first base to retire the side. Gilbert 6 innings once again. But as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, he's on the downside. Padres have the lead.
Now that century of cutting comes in a mower. New blade, same bloodline.
Well, coming up tomorrow, there's $1 million on the line as NASCAR's best battle each other and the concrete monster of Dover. It's the NASCAR Cup Series All-Star Race. Pre-race coverage starts noon Eastern with the green flag at 1, only on FS1. New pitcher on the mound for the Padres. They go to their bullpen for the first time today. Lefty Wandy Peralta is up on the hill.
A lot of sinkers, a lot of changeups. Mixing a slider as well.
Lefties have actually hit him all right this year to the tune of 3 1/4 to be exact. They're slugging over 500 against him. And with that in mind, Luke Raley stays in there for the left on left. Three straight lefties due up for the Mariners here in the 6th. Young and then Canzone. One. Weak ground ball. Peralta trying to track it down. He gets to first base on a little option toss there by Sheets, and they get there just in the nick of time. Raley is out.
A really nice play by both Sheets and Peralta. Did try to speed things up. Sheets gathers himself, makes a nice little option. Peralta there to grab it.
One down, another lefty bat here in Cole Young. You know, we were talking about how so many people picked the Mariners to win the division going into this year, and obviously you've got some really veteran bats on the Seattle club, guys like Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez, Randy Arozarena, Josh Naylor. Cole Young was a little bit of a wild card, right? A player who last year as a 21-year-old made his debut. Had some good moments, but also had his struggles like any young player would. Still just 22 years old. He's one of the youngest position players in the major leagues. And he has really started to feel like a real big leaguer this season, as he has played a great second base. He strikes out here to bring up Canzone, but he's been a major part of what the Mariners have done so far this year.
Yeah, he really has been great. And I think one of the things, too, that has helped him is he's been able to kind of fly under the radar, because, as you mentioned, there's so many guys that you have to worry about on this ball club. And I think that benefits him as a young player. You know, he doesn't have to be the focal point. And he can slide behind Julio and Cal and Josh Naylor and Donovan. It's allowed him to be successful early on. Did I say Arozarena?
Yeah.
Did I say Raley? Like, I mean, you just think of it. This is a deep ball club.
2-1 on Canzone. Broken back grounder over to second base. Tatis has it, and Peralta out of the bullpen. Retires 3 straight lefties in a row. Onto the 7th. Padres in front. Padres in front 5-2 beginning the 7th. Logan Gilbert 84 pitches back up on the mound.
I mean, you look at that 4th inning with the 33 pitches. Last 2 innings, a 6 and a 10 respectively.
Well, Gilbert did give up 4 runs in that 4th. He's given him 5 in total, but for whatever reason, he's been the guy on this staff since 2024. The lowest run support per 9 innings. And it just has been that way when Logan Gilbert has been pitching. He's drawn the short straw. Now, to be fair, when you give up 5, that can become problematic, obviously, and Duhar leading things off. But something that has been a trend for the positive this year for the Mariners, and it's honestly, it's not just this year. It's a team that's obviously built so much around pitching, and in particular, its rotation. 1-1 strike to Andujar as he fouls it away. Going into today, EK, Mariners starters have gone 6 innings or more 26 times. That's the second most in baseball this year, trailing only the Dodgers by a couple. When Mariners starters have done that, they've pitched to an ERA of 2.81. I mean, they've been fantastic. As you would imagine, they're pitching into the 6th, 7th, maybe even the 8th inning. Unfortunately, the Mariners are just 13-13 in those 26 games. For context, the Dodgers are 18-10. So the Mariners have unfortunately not utilized or made the most of some really good starting pitching. Diving stop, Rivas pops up, has to put it on, escape the stretch, and it's in time. A highlight play by Leo Rivas at third. That was dynamite. Our all-state good hands replay, Leo Rivas.
Well, his ability to get on his feet, but then have the wherewithal to know that he's got to throw a one-hopper. Doesn't try to get it all the way in the air and possibly short-hop Naylor. Does a really nice job getting that long hop and making it easy for the first baseman.
You could hang a star on that one, like they'd say in San Diego. Strike one to Castellanos.
And you're going back to the Jerry Coleman days,
right?
Huh?
The one and only. Well, you know, when the Braves, when they have a starter go 6 innings or more, they're 16-5. The Yankees 14-6.
And you're talking about the starting pitching, but I think you got to look at the offense, right?
Sure.
And you've got to look at how all of these teams score their runs. And we talked about it earlier. You know, the Mariners are home run dependent more so than any other ball club. All these other teams are, you know, they're hitting with runners in scoring position. They score without the home run. They do score with the home run, but offensively they've just been much more consistent ball club.
I think the frustrating thing for the Mariners this year is that they really profiled as a team that could get away from relying on the home run quite as much with the additions of Brendan Donovan, with a full year of Josh Naylor. And that can still happen, obviously. We're just barely a quarter of the way through the season, but so far this year, that has not been the situation for the Mariners. Now, Donovan has been hurt for a while. Out of the lineup today. Naylor got off to a slow start, been much better over the last few weeks.
And you have to say it, right? Cal has been a complete shell of himself. You can say IL, you can say, you know, whatever you want, but I mean, he's, forget saying he's not been the same as last year. He's been a detriment offensively.
2 outs. Castellanos with the 3-run home run earlier grounds out, 2 away.
You know, do I expect that to change? Of course. I think, you know, going into this year, even with Raleigh, it's nobody expected the 60 home runs. And look at that. I thought, you know, nationally, if he hits 30 home runs, that's a really good year.
Two outs, nobody on for Laureano. Well, the Mariners certainly hopeful that oblique injury will heal up quickly. Raleigh's been shut down for a week, and then they will reevaluate. Drilled out towards the gap in right center field. Rodriguez chasing after this one. It's to the base of the wall. Takes a high arcing bounce. That's a 2-out double for Laureano. He stands up at second base.
It's a slider over the middle part of the plate. He drives it to right center. I thought Julio was going to run it down, but then he makes a decision, you know, to play it off the wall.
Nick Davila is up inside the Mariners bullpen. 96 pitches for Logan Gilbert. cranked left field. Duran sends this into the bullpen. Rodolfo Duran, not only with his first big league hit, it's his first major league home run. What a moment for the 28-year-old rookie, parts of 11 seasons in the minor leagues. And a day he will never forget.
Duran ambushes a four-seam fastball, center cut. He was swinging from the get-go. The home run ball continues to play Gilbert, and the Padres not known for their power. 3 home runs this evening. They've got the lead.
And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Nick Davila, the new pitcher on the mound for the Mariners, fires the first pitch strike to Jackson Merrill. Davila, right-handed rookie, just recently made his major league debut. It's his 6th big league outing.
A lot of sliders. I'll throw that sinker as well. 27-year-old, you said, just getting his feet wet in the big leagues.
Rodolfo Duran with the knockout blow to Logan Gilbert. 3rd home run that the Mariners starter gave up today. And a 7-2 Padres lead.
That's 11 home runs Gilbert has given up this year, and 10 of them in this ballpark. I mean, that really is hard to believe.
Swing and a miss and a pitch out. There is out number 3. Now the Padres offense has come alive today. 3 homers, 7 runs in total. And Rodolfo Duran, one of the greatest days of his life. His first big league hit and home run. Shohei Ohtani has been incredible on the mound this year. 4 earned runs in total of .82. How about Kyle Schwarber? 9 home runs in his last 8 games. One of 2 Phillies to ever do that. And everybody's over 500 in the Central. Cubs, one of the best teams in baseball. It'll be interesting once they start playing one another. Things will change then. We'll put a moment for Rodolfo Duran, his first career hit and home run. Our game summary is sponsored by Blue Moon. 7-2 Padres. 7 runs, 3 homers for San Diego. They had scored 6 runs and hit just 1 homer in the last 3 games. Manager Dan Wilson ejected. Buehler 5 innings. Logan Gilbert almost going a full 7, 6 2/3, but 7 earned on the line today for the Mariners starting pitcher. Jason Adam was warming up when Duran hit that home run and lengthened the lead. And since he was up, he's coming in here with a 5-run lead in the bottom of the 7th.
Likes a slider, the changeup, throw the four-seamer about 25% of the time, but really relies on that slider and changeup.
He's pitching back-to-back days, 2/3 of an inning in last night's game. A shutout win for the Padres. Well, some defensive replacements as they move things around a little bit. Song is now at second base where he started last night, and Tatis has moved into right field, so Castellanos is done. Catcher Johnny Prada leads it off, and he goes after the first pitch, skies this out to left field. Laureano comes in. 1 pitch and 1 away.
Yeah, so far this ballgame, manager Craig Stammen has pushed all the right buttons. Got Walker Buehler through 5 innings. Let him go out and compete for that 5th inning. Walker did a great job. Put Castellanos in the lineup out in right field because of his history against Logan Gilbert. Rewarded with a 3-run shot.
And he finds his team leading 7-2. here in the bottom of the 7th. A win today for the Padres, and it would be their first series win at T-Mobile Park since 2018, believe it or not. Now, for many of those years, they played just 2-game series, the Mariners and the Padres, so they would have had to win back-to-back games here in Seattle to win a series. But nevertheless, the Mariners have played the Padres very well in recent years. But this season, it's been all San Diego. They swept the 3 games at Petco not long ago. And they won last night 4-0 against the Mariners this season. Routine grounder finds a new man. Song over there at second. Rivas is out. Top of the order, 2 down, J.P. Crawford. He's been one of the few offensive bright spots today for the Mariners. His 6th home run of the year came his last time up.
Yeah, this shot brought him to 5-2 in the ball game. And we talked about it. Seattle very home run reliant.
One ball and 1 strike. Tight slider, 1-2. Now this is an exceptional bullpen for the Padres. And JP needed a minute.
You know, I think that's one of the things that you talk about the bullpen being so good. It's another reason why this offense needs to get clicking for San Diego, just so they don't tax that bullpen so early on in the year. Again, Greg Stammen's done an unbelievable job so far in this early part of the season. But you have to balance that. You know, do we garner wins now, or are we trying to save everybody? It's such a balancing act.
Crawford strikes out. Jason Adam retires the side in order. It's on to the 8th. Padres in control.
There's 7.
Top of the 8th. Padres have the lead. Davila back out there for the Mariners, and Tatis gets spilled to the ground.
Just a slider that backs up. Still anything near your head, not excited about as a hitter. Tatis still looking to get on the board this series. 0 for 4 last night. 0 for 3 so far this evening.
It is wild. You look at the Padres' struggles offensively, and batting average isn't everything, certainly, but you don't want to be last, needless to say. And the Padres come into today with the lowest team batting average in the majors, a collective .223. And yet, in now 5 games, including today against the Mariners, a team that has a terrific pitching staff, the Padres are hitting close to .280 against Mariners pitching this year. 3 home runs today. They have really hit the Mariners well this season. Tatis aboard. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source of your favorite team gear. Sun poking through over there at first base with the roof closed. Ball inside to Machado.
I think one of the things you can say about this San Diego offense and this ball club in general, it's a veteran group that does not lack confidence. They don't doubt themselves. And even when it can look dire or there's not a lot of success, they still think they're going to come through. And the thing about it, so far this early part of the year, they have. I mean, there is no doubt. Doubt has not crept in at all, nor will it all the season long.
Tatis trying to take second. Good throw. Tag, and he's out at second base. Johnny Pareda right on the money.
Tatis had a decent jump, but Pareda just, I mean, it didn't even make it competitive down there. He just launched a missile there. Look at that. I mean, wow.
Two balls and a strike to Machado. Now the base is empty. Fifth time this year that Tatis has been caught. A liner, and Rivas ducks for cover while making the catch. That was 109 right at you. You know, we talked earlier about Machado's hard hit rate in May, but he's hitting 115. And unfortunately for Machado, this is more evidence to exactly both of those things.
And that ball caught Rivas. That thing was just scorched. Almost took Rivas out on the outfield grass. I mean, two sparkling plays over there at third.
Wow.
A diving play. And then, you know, and that thing, too, it's got some curvature to it as far as the ball coming off the bat. So you mentioned the velocity, and it's moving. Not easy.
Gavin Sheets the batter with 2 outs. He goes around. Davila rushing it in there at 96. Two and two now. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 8th inning.
Strike call.
Sheets challenging this. He thought that missed the zone, and it just nicks the strike zone.
Calls confirm the pitches. Calls confirm the pitches a strike. San Diego has 1 challenge remaining.
Both sides with 1 challenge left. Sheets has homered and walked today. (3-2), and he walks again. Aboard for the 3rd time. He was on base 3 times last night as well. Second walk this inning from Davila. Domingo Gonzalez is up inside the Mariners bullpen. Manny Acta will make a change. Dan Wilson ejected earlier. Will step aside.
This one's personal.
2 outs, top of the 8th, and Domingo Gonzalez, who just recently made his major league debut, is on the pitch. He's facing Xander Bogaerts with Gavin Sheets at first base. In play, takes Cole Young right to the bag. 1 pitch, and out number 3. To the bottom of the 8th inning, Padres in front. 3 home runs today for the Padres. Sheets, Castellanos, and Duran, the first of his career. Padres playing from in front, going to the bottom of the 8th, 7-2 San Diego. Alec Jacob just recently recalled. He's making just his second appearance this year in the majors. His other one actually came against the Mariners. Guy with some Northwest roots, born in Spokane, pitched his college ball at Gonzaga. In his home state, now facing Julio Rodriguez beginning the bottom of the 8th inning. Missing outside for ball 1.
Two-pitch guy, four-seamer and a change. See the angle from which he's attacking hitters.
Through the right side for a base hit. Rodriguez, his first hit today. Leadoff man reaching. The greatest spectacle in racing is coming. We're just 8 days away from the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500. Don't miss the pageantry and tradition of the biggest race in motorsports, the Indy 500, Sunday, May 24th on Fox. Julio Rodriguez at first. Here's Josh Naylor. He's been aboard twice today, a couple of hits. A question that many have asked is exactly how are the Padres winning as many games? They came in today a half game outside of first. It is wild. You look at their run differential by inning, PK, and innings 1 through 6, they're a -1. And from innings 7 and on, they're a +28. And you would think that in the later innings, they're having to face even better pitching, right? You're facing the back end of a bullpen on a lot of nights when you're trailing. But of course, they have an elite bullpen, and they've just kind of had this knack for finding runs late, and they find themselves nearly in first place behind the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, they really have done it in a special way this year. You know, earlier in the season, they had a couple of walk-offs against the Rockies. And just this week, we've seen, you know, St. Louis and the other day against Milwaukee, and they've done it in dramatic fashion.
Rodriguez bolting to second base, and he gets in there without a throw. His 4th stolen base.
I think when you talk about San Diego, though, and how they've done it, it's a veteran ball club, and there is no quit. There's a relentlessness. There's a resilience. These guys believe that they're good enough to beat anybody, and it's shown so far this year.
Yeah, think about, you know, that positive run differential as Naylor draws a walk, reaching for the 3rd time in the later innings. And obviously it speaks to how good the Padres bullpen has been, and then their knack offensively for scratching out some runs late in games. Here comes a visit as the bullpen. Morejon. Padres would rather stay away from their leverage arms, up by 5. Morejon worked in last night's game. Power lefty, triple-digit fastball from the left side. They would love it if Jacob could take them the rest of the way. But a single and now a walk.
You know, I was looking at something earlier today when talking about the San Diego bullpen. The 9th inning ERA of the San Diego bullpen this year is .50. .50. The next best is Atlanta with a 2.31. I mean, that just shows you that guy right there. I mean, that guy should be in street clothes right now. There's no way he could be throwing today after that 32-pitch deal he put on last night.
4-out save last night for Mason Miller. Both runners taking off. A throw to second and safe at second base. Double steal by the ends, trying to get something cooking late. Rodriguez into 3rd, Naylor into 2nd.
Smart play by San Diego to throw behind the runner, but even a better move by Naylor as far as not taking it for granted. He's going in there all the way, stealing it like it was straight up. 2 guys in scoring position. You know, that's one of the things, too, that Seattle knows they get to 3 runs, they're not going to have to face Miller tonight. And they feel like, hey, you know what? We got a shot then.
Big swing and a miss. 1-2 on a Rosarena.
I feel like with nobody out, you just want to keep the line moving, keep the pressure on. And yes, the 3-run home run would be nice. But just keep the inning alive. Keep it going.
Right back up the middle. And it's picked their song. Bobbles it. Rodriguez scores. Everybody is safe. And the line keeps moving in the bottom of the 8th. Mariners trying to chip away and climb back into this one.
Randy hits his ball 102 miles an hour. Song does a nice job of getting over there, unable to field it cleanly. Once that happens, 1 run scores. And again, this is, I get the home run is nice, but the constant pressure also a problem. San Diego up 7-3. We got ourselves a ball game.
It's Papa John's.
Make your mark and become a legend in MLB The Show 26, available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Nintendo Switch, rated E for everyone. Now the Mariners threatening at least a little bit here. They've got runners on the corners, and the flame-throwing lefty Adrian Morejon is on. He'll face left-on-left Luke Raley. A swing and a miss.
Yeah, harder. Anytime you've got a changeup that averages 92 miles an hour, you know you're dealing. 99-mile-an-hour sinker, and then a slider that Raley just saw.
This would normally be a pinch hit opportunity for a right-handed bat on that bench for the Mariners. You wonder, Donovan unavailable to start today, so you imagine he'd be unavailable to come off the bench. Garver is hurt. He was unavailable to play a late scratch. Connor Joe would be the only infielder left on the bench. 0-2. And it might be a move by the Mariners to not want to use Connor Joe, who can play the infield, should something happen to an infielder. They would not have another option. And there was Joe with his ball cap on. Well, you know, Raley had 4 plate appearances all year against a lefty, and he's had 2 now today. And he strikes out facing Morejon, who's just been absolute death to left-handed hitters.
Yeah, Morejon is not facing, or is not like facing another left-hander. This guy's running it up there at 97, 98 miles an hour, plus a slider at 89. You mentioned that's just death for a left-handed hitter. Go get him, Cole Young.
There is the strike. Does not go. Of course, Refsnyder would have been an option as well for the Raley at bat, a right-handed hitter off the bench. Runners on the corners. Ground ball hopping softly. Bogart's little shovel pass over to second base. That brings home a run. Rosarena is out, but Naylor scores. RBI fielder's choice for Young. And here is Refsnyder. Just talking about him, he will bat for the left-handed hitting Dom Canzone.
I mean, really a nice job, though, by Young just to get that run in. Brings it to a 3-run ball game. Asking a lot of the young man just to put the ball in play against Morejon.
A rare lefty, Morejon, who can hit triple digits, just wipe out stuff, especially left on left.
And that's the thing. You talk about how great this bullpen is for the Padres, and obviously Mason Miller's the headline, but the supporting actors in this bullpen are incredible and deep. Now this is a guy the Mariners would love to get going. Rob Refsnyder, who has a supreme track record of hitting lefty pitching in recent years. But it's been a rough takeoff in year number 1 with the Mariners. A free agent signing over the offseason. This is not your average lefty, as you can tell. It's 0-2.
Gone sinker, sinker, both of them almost touching 100 miles an hour.
Two outs, Young at first base. Two runs this inning brought in by the Mariners. RBIs from Arozarena and Cole Young. Pareda, the catcher, on deck. And he fouls it back, and it hit the upper inner leg there. It looked like of Duran, who's going to walk that one off. Duran says he's all right. Young taking off for second. This is fouled back. 100 that time.
Thrown 4 sinkers in this at bat. He's also mixed in a change and a 4-seamer, but he's let Refsnyder know that the sinker is the pitch that he wants to use to get him out.
Two. Rolled over to third, make it a backhand by Bogarts to shortstop. He goes the short way to get Young to retire the side, but a productive inning by the Mariners. They grab 2 runs. It is on to the 9th.
New Cinnamon Toast Crunch Dip Cone, new Fruity Pebble Shake, and the new Choco Frosted Donut Blizzard Treat. The new breakfast collection, here for any time of day, but not for long.
We have reached the 9th inning. Padres leading 7-4. Middle game of the series. A win today by the Padres would be a series win. This is into center field, and then Duhar continues his hot hitting. On the very first pitch, singles into straightaway center in front of Julio Rodriguez. Leadoff man reaching in the 9th for the Padres. Sung-Moon Song, who took over batting in Castellanos' spot. His first at bat. Strike 1.
I feel like Songy, he's got kind of a longer swing, and Crawford playing almost up the middle. Wide open hole over on that left side.
And Duhar trying to take second, and that throw was there a day early. Johnny Pareda cuts down his second would-be base stealer.
Second guy he's throwing out at second base. He got Tatis earlier in the game. As you mentioned, both of them non-contest. Andujar, he's running down there. He got about halfway and looked in and almost looked like he was starting to round the bag. Not sure what he was thinking there.
And not a guy who has attempted many stolen bases this year. He's tried just twice. He's now 1 for 3 on the season. into right field, and a base hit. Song is aboard. Back-to-back singles for the Padres, but 1 out and 1 on. Here's Laureano. Pops this out to play foul, strike 1. You know, we've talked about the struggles from this Padres offense. You wouldn't be able to tell today with the 7 runs, of course. On 7 hits, they've homered 3 times. If you're in that Padres dugout, you have to be thinking, look at how well we have played. Look at where we are in the standings, albeit so early, and we have done it without our best hitters being even close to their career norms. Just imagine what would happen when we get hot.
It certainly gives you optimism, but you have to have a reason where you're looking at these guys.
Rayleigh comes in a glimmer of sunshine and makes the catch. 2 outs.
And you can look at Tatis and you can set your sights on, well, he's hitting the ball hard, so that's going to change. You can look at Manny and say, okay, smoking the ball. We saw him hit a ball 110 miles, got nothing to show for it. He's going to get going. Jackson Merrill, you say, well, look, he was great 2 years ago, and so there are things that you can feel good about, but at the same point, you want to start seeing some production.
And Merrill had that incredible rookie season. He started the All-Star game, won the Silver Slugger, and then early the next year agreed to a 9-year extension. Spent some time on the injured list last year, was not as productive, and has gotten off to a cold start this year. So bottom line, not even close to the same amount of a track record, not his fault, of some of the other guys that you named that you can say, well, they've been there and they've done that. And there is Jackson Merrill, leadoff hitter for the Padres.
But I think that's why you feel good about this Padre ball club, because you feel like it's just a matter of time, and it's a stretch these guys are going through.
Well, every club would love to be 26-18 with their best hitters being ice cold.
I mean, it really is remarkable, because again, when you look at all the things, quote unquote, under the hood, it's not great. But you look at the 1-loss record and you go, wow. And you look at the bullpen, that's a whole nother, that's its own entity. And you get, how about tomorrow, Lucas Giolito? He'll be toeing the hill for San Diego. There he is right there. Mason Miller.
Way outside, 3-1. Yeah, the Padres on the season, you look at the slash line, average on base and slugging, they rank anywhere from 27th to dead last in those 3 categories. And they have not had a strong rotation, and yet they're a half game outside of first. Rodriguez tracking this. He is at the warning track. He is at the wall, and Julio Rodriguez, did he wind up with it? Luke Raley is the first on the scene, and he brought it back. Even by his standards, a remarkable catch up against the wall. Home run robbery. Julio Rodriguez right in front of the no-fly zone. Oh, this is worth another look. Deep right center field. Julio Rodriguez going up and bringing it back. Meanwhile, Rodolfo Duran, in his previous at-bat, hit his first career major league home run. It was his first hit. He almost homered for the second time, and that's a rude awakening to the no-fly zone out there from Julio Rodriguez. goes on to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Mariners are down to their final 3 outs, and they're facing Jeremiah Estrada.
And it is a save situation. Young man's got some good stuff. Likes his split finger. He'll throw the four-seamer as well.
This is an atom ball out to left field and caught chest high by Laureano. Breda squared it up, but he is out number 1. Mariners go to their bench and they call on Connor Joe. He will bat here for Leo Rivas. Mariners do not have a healthy lefty on the bench. Brendan Donovan, the only one there. He was in the original starting lineup, but was scratched roughly 2 hours before first pitch. Missing high, ball 1. Does he go? No, he does not.
Mariners just looking to get some guys on base so they can turn this thing around as far as the lineup, get to Julio and Naylor and Arozarena.
And Estrada made some major league history years ago. He tied a major league record with 13 consecutive strikeouts. He became just the 3rd major leaguer ever to strike out 3 batters in an inning on 3 straight days. That particular stretch of time, he struck out the final 5 he faced in Cincinnati. Then he punched out another 5 Yankees hitters. Then he struck out 3 Marlins. And Connor Joe draws a walk. Now for Estrada, for as many strikeouts as he's had this year, the walks have been a problem. And Joe a pinch hit walk.
Well, JP right now wanted to use that on base percentage, get himself down to first, just so he can bring the tying run to the plate.
Mason Miller down. Estrada trying to close this game out for the Padres. Miller a 4-out save last night. This is into right field and a base hit. That pushes Joe into second, and all of a sudden the Mariners will bring the tying run to the plate.
We talked about at the top of the show, Rodriguez, one of the few players in all of baseball that can beat you on the bases, in the field, and up at the plate. We already saw what he could do out in the field with that unbelievable home run saving catch. Let's see what he does here.
Swings away, comes up empty on a breaking ball, strike 1. Estrada has given up just 1 home run this year. Rodriguez with 6 career game-tying home runs in the 7th inning or later. It's time for the most in baseball since he debuted.
He just went high with a fastball. Probably going to come back with a splitter to drop down in the zone.
There you have it, right on cue. Now, since Estrada gave up 4 runs in his season debut, he has been lights out. 1 run his last 12 innings. This is foul over to third. Still a ball and 2 strikes. 9-run Rodriguez at the plate. One-two. In the dirt. Buries a splitter, and it's 2-2. One out, 2 on, bottom of the 9th inning. On a 2-2. Over the plate, but man, after that 84-mile-an-hour splitter, that fastball, what does that look like?
I mean, it's coming at you, but it's interesting because he had just bounced that splitter, so you figure there's no way he's coming back with it again.
And that splitter missing low, full count. Naylor on deck.
It's funny, but if I'm Estrada, I'm going with the splitter right here because I don't care if I walk him, but I just no fastball here.
Estrada's 3-2. It is a breaking ball, a race to third, a step on the bag there. Joe is out. Rodriguez at first, 2 down.
Smart pitch by Estrada. You know, going with something outside of that fastball. I thought he'd go to splitter, but you just did not want Julio putting one in the seats. You got to be careful here with Naylor. I think he gets a steady dose of splitters. Right-handed splitter to a left-handed hitter usually doesn't work well for the hitter.
Yeah, lefty's hitting 105 this year against Estrada. That's it. On the ground, and it's taken. Sheets a flip, and that is the game. The Padres win back-to-back games in Seattle. They win their first series at T-Mobile Park since 2018, and they remain undefeated against the Mariners this year. 7-4 the final score.
I mean, you really got to tip your cap to the Padres. Walker Buehler did a nice job. 5 workmanlike innings, only allowed 2 runs, and then the home run ball for San Diego. Nick Castellanos, the big 3-run bomb. Gavin Sheets, Durant getting his first big league hit, being a home run, but San Diego just keeps on rolling.
Mariners made it interesting, but the Padres win it 7-4 the final. For Eric Karros and our entire Fox Sports crew, I'm Aaron Goldsmith saying so long from Seattle. We'll send you out to KB and Dontrell Willis in our Los Angeles studios right after these messages.